Oh, hey, you're Alex, right? Do you remember me? Oh, Emma. Long time no see. You used to be such a nerd, but you've cleaned up a bit, huh? Still, you're as scrawny and unimpressive as ever, though. All I could do was give a wry smile. She was Emma, a girl who had been in my senior year class in high school. She was beautiful with a great figure since high school. She was so beautiful that she had even done some modeling, but I never really liked her because of her difficult personality. It's not surprising to see her at a reunion, though. So what are you up to now? Judging by the way you look, I bet you're still living at home, mooching off your parents, right? No. I've got a job, actually. I'm working hard as an engineer now. An engineer? So you ended up with some nerdy job after all. Well, being an engineer is a respectable job, isn't it? Why do you look down on it so much? You're the one living a pathetic life doing some nerdy job, right? So why are you talking back to me? It makes no sense. Are you taking out your frustrations on me because your life is miserable? It's not like my life is unfulfilling. I have a lot of responsibility at my job, and I'm pretty satisfied with my current situation. She might see it as a dropout's life, but I don't care what she thinks. I told myself this and tried to keep my irritation in check. Your life is pathetic. I'm not getting mad, but you really shouldn't talk like that to other people. If someone said the same thing to you, you wouldn't feel good, would you? Wait a minute. Are you lecturing me? Do you think you're in any position to lecture me? Who do you think you are? I'm not trying to be anyone special. I'm way more successful than you. This necklace I'm wearing cost $6,000. Something you could never afford in your lifetime. She said this, boasting about the necklace she was wearing. I thought to myself that she really hasn't changed at all since the old days. It's like she's saying her value is only based on her appearance. Judging people only by their appearance. You haven't changed a bit since high school. What? Are you picking a fight with me? I'm not picking a fight, but we're adults now, so you should stop acting so childish. That's just sour grapes. You and I live in different worlds. My husband is a director at a major company. Is that so? Just because you're doing some nerdy job and getting pushed around by your company, don't take it out on me. Ugh, I'm starting to feel sick. If I knew a loser like you would be here, I wouldn't have come. With that, she walked away. But there's no point in overthinking it. I decided to enjoy the reunion. After that, I continued to work hard to achieve even more results. Then one day, while waiting for a client in the lobby, "Hey, aren't you Alex?" "What? What are you doing in the lobby of such a big company? Are you here for a sales pitch or something? A small company like the one you work for wouldn't even be considered by a place like this." For some reason, Emma showed up there. Just like at the reunion, she looked down on me again. Her attitude made me snap. "My name is Alex, and I currently work as an engineer at an IT company. The project you left to me is finished." "What? Really? You finished debugging?" "Yes. There was an error occurring when exporting files, and once I fixed that, it was resolved immediately." "Wow, that's amazing. I couldn't even figure out what to fix." "You really are a genius programmer." "No, not at all. You're way better as an engineer than I am. I started working at this company right after graduating high school, while most of my colleagues graduated from university engineering departments or technical colleges. As a result, I'm one of the few with only a high school diploma. Since it's a relatively large company, I was seen as an outlier. I was really surprised when I saw your resume. I mean, you were a high schooler who made not only websites, but also games, and you were self-taught. I always loved creating things, so I thought this job was my calling. Plus, I felt that to compete with university graduates, I needed to enhance my own skills. I first got into programming in middle school using my dad's computer. I didn't understand much at first, but creating a simple game got me hooked on programming. I never thought creating something could be so much fun, and sharing it with friends made me want to create even better things. After that, my parents got me a high-performance computer, and I delved into programming. I didn't join any activities in high school. Instead, I spent my days reading programming books during classes and working on my projects when I got home. After graduating high school, I joined a nut company. At first, people looked down on me because I only had a high school diploma, but gradually everyone started recognizing my skills. Now, I'm respected as one of the top talents in my team. Alex, can we talk for a minute? Yes? Would you like to experience upstream processes? Upstream processes. Me. Of course, I know your programming skills are excellent, but you're also known for your leadership qualities within the team. I highly value those qualities, and I believe you have the talent to lead the team from the top. I was called by the CEO, Mr. Smith, and tasked with overseeing the upstream processes of development. In software development, programming is often seen as a task for the lower ranks. As you move up the ranks, you get assigned more upstream tasks, and the responsibilities increase. I love creating things, so I intended to keep working hard as a programmer. But I was happy to be recognized by Mr. Smith, and if I had leadership qualities, I wanted to take on the challenge. Sir, if things keep going this way, we should be able to release on schedule. Really? That's great. I'm glad I trusted you, Alex. It's still a small project, so I want to do well on bigger projects too. I successfully completed the first small project I was assigned, completely gaining Mr. Smith's trust. After that, I was assigned larger projects within the company and quickly climbed the ranks. By the time I turned 30, I was appointed the leader of a major project that was crucial for the company's future. It was almost unheard of to rise so high at my age, and I was proud of my accomplishments. The hard work I put in since I was a student had finally paid off. I truly felt it was worth all the effort. Then one day, I was invited to my high school reunion. Since I didn't go to college, my high school classmates were my few friends. I hadn't seen them in over 10 years, so I headed to the reunion with excitement. Hey everyone, long time no see. Oh Alex, it's been ages. I genuinely enjoyed reconnecting with the friends I was close to in high school. I hadn't had much time for relationships because of work. I was hoping maybe I'd meet someone special. Oh hey, you're Alex, right? Do you remember me? Oh Emma, long time no see. You used to be such a nerd, but you've cleaned up a bit, huh? Still, you're as scrawny and unimpressive as ever, though. All I could do was give a wry smile. She was Emma, a girl who had been in my senior year class in high school. She was beautiful with a great figure since high school. She was so beautiful that she had even done some modeling, but I never really liked her because of her difficult personality. She had a habit of looking down on people because of her good looks. Since I didn't join any clubs and was shy, she often looked down on me. So, what are you up to now? Judging by the way you look, I bet you're still living at home, mooching off your parents, right? No. I've got a job actually. I'm working hard as an engineer now. An engineer? So you ended up with some nerdy job after all. Well, being an engineer is a respectable job, isn't it? Why do you look down on it so much? You're the one living a pathetic life doing some nerdy job, right? So why are you talking back to me? It makes no sense. Are you taking out your frustrations on me because your life is miserable? It's not like my life is unfulfilling. I have a lot of responsibility at my job, and I'm pretty satisfied with my current situation. She might see it as a dropout's life, but I don't care what she thinks. I told myself this and tried to keep my irritation in check. Your life is pathetic. I'm not getting mad, but you really shouldn't talk like that to other people. If someone said the same thing to you, you wouldn't feel good, would you? Wait a minute. Are you lecturing me? Do you think you're in any position to lecture me? Who do you think you are? I'm not trying to be anyone special. I'm way more successful than you. This necklace I'm wearing cost $6,000. Something you could never afford in your lifetime. She said this, boasting about the necklace she was wearing. I didn't know much about accessories or brands, so I couldn't gauge its value, but I thought to myself that she really hasn't changed at all since the old days, judging people only by their appearance and material possessions. It's like she's saying her value is only based on her looks, judging people only by their appearance. You haven't changed a bit since high school. What? Are you picking a fight with me? I'm not picking a fight, but we're adults now, so you should stop acting so childish. That's just sour grapes. You and I live in different worlds. My husband is a can at a major company. Is that so? You're the one living a pathetic life doing some nerdy job, right? So why are you talking back to me? It makes no sense. Are you taking out your frustrations on me because your life is miserable? With that, she walked away. The atmosphere felt a bit heavy, and I started to regret my words, wondering if I was at fault. Maybe I should have handled it more maturely. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make things awkward. It's all right. Don't worry about it. Besides, Emma is the only one who thinks that way. We all think being an engineer is a respectable job. Especially me. Since I work in sales for an ad company, I have a lot of respect for our development team. That really helps to hear. If anything Emma said got to you, just ignore it. She's the one who doesn't work and brags about her husband's earnings. That's way more pathetic. At least that's what I think. My friend sitting next to me encouraged me, and the others around nodded in agreement. With Emma gone, it seemed everyone was on my side, which made me feel a bit better. I realized what I said wasn't wrong. The reunion ended on a positive note, and I went back to focusing on my work the next day. Alex, I need to talk to you. What is it? It's not immediate, but when I retire, I want you to take over the company. What? I've been thinking about this for a few years now, and out of everyone I've seen, I believe you're the most suitable successor. Of course, you don't have to give me an answer right now, but I hope you'll consider it. I was truly surprised to hear this from Mr. Smith, but he was serious. He was considering me as the next CEO. From that moment on, I kept questioning whether I had the ability to run the company, a major enterprise with annual sales exceeding $2 billion. I kept questioning myself about it. It was a matter of my own resolve, but also whether I possessed the necessary managerial skills. Mr. Smith must have seen something in me to choose me, but if I were to actually take on the responsibility, I would need to deliver results. Could I really do it? These thoughts lingered in my mind. After several discussions and dinners with Mr. Smith, where we talked about our visions for the company's future, I finally decided to accept the position as the next CEO. Things moved quickly from there, and I was first promoted to vice president. I had numerous discussions with the top executives and shareholders, and no one had any complaints about the decision. While building my track record as vice president, I was set to become the CEO the following year. From then on, I led a very busy life, working much harder than I did as a member of the development team. About these documents, there's a part I'd like you to revise, and could you call in the project's leader and the department head for a meeting about the matching projects? It was a hectic daily routine, but I worked harder than anyone else. As the company leader, I believed in working harder than any employee and leading by example. I aimed to be the kind of leader who inspires others by my actions, so I kept moving forward. In the first 3 years, I didn't achieve significant results, but I succeeded in maintaining the previous year's sales. By the 4th year, I had become accustomed to managing the company and launched major projects to expand the business. Several years passed, and one day, I had a meeting with a major new client since I became CEO, so I was waiting at the company building's reception 15 minutes early. It's only natural for the CEO to personally greet such an important client, since it was such an important client. And then, "Hey, aren't you Alex? What? What are you doing in the lobby of such a big company? Are you here for a sales pitch or something? A small company like the one you work for wouldn't even be considered here." No, it's not like that. Of course it is. If you're not here for a sales pitch, maybe you work for one of the subsidiaries. Either way, it's clear where we stand. My husband is the head of sales here. His position is way higher than yours. Seeing her again made me feel genuinely sick. Why was she here? She wasn't wearing a suit, so she probably wasn't here for business. Maybe she had a personal reason to be here since her husband works at this company. In any case, I really didn't want to see her again after that reunion. What are you doing here? That's none of your business, is it? Well, if you're not here for work, then you shouldn't be wandering around here. I tried to remain calm, but I was quite irritated inside. Since she was an outsider, I wanted her to leave my company as soon as possible. I felt that way from the bottom of my heart. How many times do I have to tell you? You have no right to say that to me. You're the outsider here, so don't boss me around. She spoke to me forcefully. But then, in the next moment, "Oh, Emma, sorry to keep you waiting." And "Hello, sir. Good to see you." What? This is the CEO here. Come on, you should properly greet him too. Wait a minute. The CEO, this person. Yes, that's right. The sales director, Ken, had just come downstairs, and upon hearing his words, she was at a loss for words. These two were likely a married couple. This has to be a joke. It can't be real. What are you talking about? Of course, it's not a joke. As Ken spoke, I could see Emma's face turning pale. She must have realized the gravity of what she had done. But it was too late for that realization now. She couldn't undo what she had done. Did you come to deliver something she forgot? Yes. I left the USB drive for a crucial meeting this evening at home, so she came to deliver it. I see. It's starting to rain outside, so please feel free to wait in my office. I have a meeting now, but I'll be back in an hour. No, I couldn't impose like that. The rain will stop soon, I'm sure. There's no need to worry. You have always been helpful to me, and I can't just send you back out in the rain. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. Ken then took her towards the elevator. Whether she would tell Ken what she had done to me was unclear, but it was certain she would be in the CEO's office until my meeting was over. I refocused and waited for the clients in the lobby. 5 minutes later, everyone arrived, and we headed to the meeting room. Despite a bit of nervousness, the meeting was a great success. We agreed to continue doing business, and I felt a sense of accomplishment for completing such an important task. Then, I headed to the CEO's office. "Sir, I deeply apologize for my wife's rude behavior. I had no idea she had been so disrespectful. I sincerely apologize. I've heard she said some very inappropriate things. I'm truly sorry. You don't need to apologize for her actions. You didn't do anything wrong yourself. However, I would like to speak with your wife for a moment. Could you both come with me?" Yes, of course. Before we reached the CEO's office, Ken stopped me and apologized. He must have heard everything from her while I was in the meeting. Whether she told him the whole truth or just part of it, I wasn't sure. In any case, I led Ken to the CEO's office where she was waiting. "It seemed you were curious about my workplace, so here it is. This is the room where I work. Satisfied? I had no idea you were so successful. I'm sorry for looking down on you. I didn't mean to be so rude. You never told me anything about your achievements. Interesting. Is that all you wanted to say? I really am sorry. I apologize for being so disrespectful to you. Will you forgive me? I too sincerely apologize. My wife's rude behavior is partly my responsibility. I am deeply sorry. Truly." Ken apologized sincerely while she mumbled her apology, avoiding eye contact. It was clear their feelings were different, and rightly so. For Ken, his wife's reckless behavior could jeopardize his position. You said being Ken of a big company makes you important, but doesn't being the CEO of a major company make me even more important? I'm not trying to one-up you, but you were the one who brought up that logic, right? Yes, but I already apologized. Why are you saying such mean things? Why are you so angry about the same thing you said to me? How does it feel to be spoken to like this? It feels awful. I don't know how you ended up as the CEO of a big company, but it feels terrible to be looked down on. You know that, don't you? If you understand that feeling, then that's enough for me. Ken, this is really unforgivable. You should prepare for a demotion. She showed no signs of true remorse. I didn't expect someone like her to reflect on her actions, but her immediate defensiveness was disappointing. Ken, who had nothing to do with this, was sincerely apologizing. Yet, the person responsible showed no remorse. I was truly disappointed. Ken had always done his job well, and I trusted him greatly. It made me feel sorry for him, being stuck with someone so lacking in decency. What do you mean by demotion? That's it. I'm divorcing you. What? If you're demoted, your salary will decrease and your status will drop, so there's no point in staying married to you. Divorce is the obvious choice. Ken was shocked by her words, but I felt unsurprised. She had flaunted her husband's status at the last reunion, seemingly infatuated with his position and salary. Of course, I don't want to criticize anyone's marriage. If both parties understand and agree to a marriage based on financial benefits, that's their choice. However, I doubted Ken saw her true nature. Divorce? What are you talking about? Why would you say something like that? I only wanted the status of having a husband working at a big company. There's no other reason for me to stay with you. This can't be happening. Huh, I feel so relieved. Alex, you might think you were trying to get back at me, but I won't be crushed by this. With my looks, I can find plenty of men to deceive. She said this forcefully to me and then left the CEO's office. Ken, left behind, was crestfallen. He had lost both his position and his wife, even though it wasn't his fault. But I wasn't that cruel. Ken, lift your head. I'm not going to demote you. What? But do you really think I'd do that? You didn't do anything wrong related to work, and I understand that. You've always worked diligently as a Ken, and I recognize that. But why? Actually, at the reunion, she boasted about how much her husband earned and that he was a director at a big company. At the time, it didn't bother me, but if that husband turned out to be a valued director at my company, I couldn't ignore it. You are a genuinely compassionate person who deeply cares about those around you. It's truly sad that your partner doesn't see that. It might be meddlesome, but this is her true nature. When I said this, Ken lowered his head. The shock of betrayal was immense because he had genuine feelings. I want you to continue doing your best as director. What she did has nothing to do with your job, and I have no intention of bringing it into the workplace. So, you can rest assured about the demotion. I understand. Thank you for your understanding. Now that I know my wife's true feelings, I'm grateful to you. I might need to take some paid leave to sort out my personal matters, but I'll handle everything and be back. Thank you for your continued support. Hearing this from Ken, I felt a bit relieved. I had a lingering worry that I might have overstepped. There are many lies we are better off not knowing. Their relationship might have been one of those lies. But I cared about my employees as much as I cared about my family. I considered my employees family, and I couldn't ignore it if one of them was being deceived. Feeling exhausted from the day's events, I took a deep breath and sat down in my chair. With two major events that day, I couldn't focus on work and went home on time. After a good rest, I returned to work the next day. Then, "Good morning, sir. Yesterday, my wife and I finalized our divorce." "What? Really?" "Yes." When I realized the betrayal, I was in shock and thought I'd never recover. But once I calmed down, I understood she only saw me as an ATM. That realization made me angry, and I demanded a divorce and got her to sign the petition. "That's great to hear. I'm glad you've moved on." After filing the divorce petition, I told her I wasn't actually getting demoted. It was deceitful, but after being deceived by her for so long, I felt no guilt. When she found out I was still a director, she went ballistic, but it served her right. The usually gentle Kent seemed to have shed a layer of restraint. Exactly. At the reunion and in high school, she always looked down on people. She took pleasure in asserting dominance and couldn't stand not being number one in everything. While I don't deny those feelings, dragging others down is wrong. Things might get tough, but as your colleague and family, we'll support you. Don't worry. I'm truly grateful for your encouraging words. I'll stick with you to the end, sir. Let's continue to work hard together. Hearing his words, I realized I hadn't overstepped. It wasn't unnecessary meddling. Working together with a rejuvenated Ken, I kept moving forward. Months passed, and the project I had been working on was a huge success. I wasn't trying to show off, but I had often been looked down upon in high school. Now, I had accomplished a lot on my own and felt full of confidence. One day, I was invited to another high school reunion. I wasn't planning to attend, knowing she might be there. But then I thought, there's no reason for me to hide. Even if I ran into her, I just needed to be confident. With that mindset, I attended the reunion. Then, hey, isn't Emma here this time? Oh, she's disappeared. Apparently, she borrowed money from friends. What? Did you hear she got divorced? She had a big fight with her husband, and they ended up divorcing. Turns out, she was cheating on him. Given that she only saw her husband as a source of money, it's not surprising. After all the alimony and other payments, she's now living off borrowed money. I hadn't heard any of that. I'm really surprised. Yeah, well, she always said terrible things about you. Karma got her. God sees everything. She used to look down on others, but now she's living the worst life among everyone. It's really pathetic. I had no idea what happened to her after that, so I was really surprised. Ken hadn't mentioned her infidelity either, probably because I immediately got busy with the project and he didn't want to bring personal matters into it. Well, it's her own fault. I'm glad I cut ties with her. I didn't want her to attend this reunion anyway. Yeah, that makes sense. I didn't know how she was surviving on borrowed money, but it wasn't my concern. Cutting ties with someone like that was for the best, and I decided not to dig any deeper. I enjoyed the rest of the reunion, spending a fulfilling time with old friends. The next day, I went back to work, grateful for everything I had achieved. Life isn't easy. If you rely solely on others, you'll inevitably face hard times. While no one can live completely alone, you can't just rely on those around you either. And the most important thing in life is never money. Whether you have it or not, it's the people who stay by your side that matter. I have friends who will listen to me and colleagues who will support me no matter what. I want to cherish these people and live each day with purpose.